Welcome back to the Grand Solar Minimum channel. Today is Friday, January 8th, 2021. Hope everybody had a good first week of the new year, I guess. It's been a crazy one, but hey, we made it through the first week and 51 more to go. So let's take a look at some space weather tonight. Solar wind speeds coming in at 358.5 kilometers per second with a density of 3.3. And I can't believe it. No, I can. But we are now 5 days in a row without sunspots. So we had a very, very active November and December. And towards the middle part of December, things were indicating that we might see some quiet activity from our star in January. And so far, the month of January, we've seen 5 out of 8 days without sunspots, lower solar wind speeds as well. And check this out, the thermosphere climate index has dropped from 612 down to 5.85. So a lot of that, in my opinion as well, I noticed that when we ever see increased solar wind speeds, that hits our magnetic field and interacts with the upper atmosphere. I do believe that. It lights it up. And you see the TCI temperature usually rises just slightly when we have increased solar winds of 550 kilometers per second and higher. But it's been quiet and things are cooling down a little bit in the upper thermosphere. So KP is at 0 and our 24-hour max is at a 1. We do have a chance for increased solar winds on January 10th, 2021. But this KP indice being a 0 and 24-hour max of 1, you all know what that means. 36-hour earthquake watch is what we're going to be calling it. 36 to 48 hours, we could see an impact of a 6.4 or higher earthquake. That could be, Indonesia has been popping off a lot here lately. So possibly PNG, could be somewhere in Guatemala as well. So nonetheless, we do have an Earth-facing coronal hole that is turning away, but at the moment of a KP of 0 and 1, that still could bring us earthquake and volcanic activity. Actually, let's say the next 24 to 36 hours, and I'll show you why. Let's go over to the grandsolarminimum.com. where we will check out our, eventually we will. Let's just sit tight, folks. The joys of going live. All right. So we're going over here to the grandsolarminimum.com space weather section. And if you take a look here to the right, and I'll zoom in on this a little bit. I'm talking about this coronal hole right here that was Earth facing, is now turning away from Earth. So KP is low, weak corona Earth facing right now. We do have something here in the very northern part of our star, but that would just graze our magnetic field. That's not going to be a direct hit or anything like that. But there is a chance we could see some seismic activity in the next 24, 36 hours, somewhere between 6.4 and higher. Or as active as the volcanoes we've seen lately, we could see an eruption of 40,000 feet or higher as well. So let's take a look at our star in motion. There is your coronal hole. And you also notice this right up in here as well, folks. So lots of weak corona action happening right now. Now we do see a bright active region here in the far eastern limb here in the southern region of this star. Very interesting magnetic filament release there. Let's go ahead and rewind that actually. That was actually pretty impressive. Yeah. As our coronal hole was turning away from us, and by the way, that camera doing what it's doing, that's just a recalibration roll that our satellite does from time to time. Watch right here, we see a release right there at the very end. So that is not going to be Earth facing, but still, nonetheless, we could be grazed by it. So we'll keep our eyes on that. That just happened not too long ago. So real-time data. Let's take a look at the big picture here. What are we looking at for sunspots in the near future? Right now, this region that's coming in the southeast region, it just looks bright. Right, I don't think that this is going to possess any dark cores. We're looking at this area right here next that could be a sunspot. Let's go to the panoramic view of this. Usually we can see what's going to be a sunspot and what's not. And check it out, guys. This is the region that's in question next. Not looking promising. So we could actually see a streak of maybe 6 to 13 days without sunspots at this point. Not surprising. The last time we had some action was in July and into August, and then things got real quiet for September and October. And then November, we started to see some more action throughout December, and January is just starting off quiet like we had said it would from the start. All right, so our first headline, I want to talk to you guys about powerful blizzard that affected areas along the Sea of Japan. But I'm going to have a special guest read for me because I'll tell you something. I need help on the pronunciations of some of these areas. And my son is very enthusiastic about the Japanese culture. He actually knows quite a bit of Japanese. But I'm going to go ahead and let him read the first story of the night. Aiden, why don't you come on over here and put this on and just read from this part where it says heavy snow. I'll start you off. A powerful winter storm is affecting areas along the Sea of Japan on January 8th, 2021, bringing dangerous winds, high waves, heavy snow, and blizzard-like conditions. The Japan Meteorological Agency warned heavy snow and powerful winds are expected through Sunday, January 10th. I'll go ahead and scroll this for you, bud. Here you go.
All right. Heavy snow has already knocked out power for more than 40,000 households in Ikata Prefecture and caused traffic disruptions across the coast. More than 210 flights have already been canceled and 240 train services in Hokkaido alone. About 90 vehicles were temporarily stranded between Ishikawa and Toyama prefectures due to heavy snow. JMA is urging residents to remain on their guard against heavy snow, potential landslides, and snow accretion.
Accumulated.
What?
Accumulated.
Oh, accumulated snow and icy roads in northern through western Japan. Heavy snow is forecasted mainly along the Sea of Japan coast and mountainous areas on the Pacific side through January 10th. Snow will also be possible in some of the country's plains. JMA said the Hokuriku region recorded at least 15 centimeters, 5.9 inches of snow in just 3 hours. High levels of snow are possible in this region in a short period of January 9th. In 24 hours to 1800
UTC.
1800 UTC on January 9th up to 120 centimeters, 47 inches, is expected in Hokuriku, 24 inches, and Tokai, Kinki, in Chugo. 20 inches in Hokkaido, Tohoku, and Kanto Koshin. And then 12 inches in northern parts of Kyushu, 10 inches in Shikoku, 8 inches in the southern part of Kyushu.
Well, thank you very much, Aiden. I appreciate your assistance. And guys, he might be taking my place here. He's only 12 years old. But he even has, that was really good. I would have butchered all of those towns. So that's all right. That was the first time you spoke on a live show. So good job, buddy. Thank you for helping me pronounce these. Like I said, I butcher a lot of city names on a regular basis, and I have a kid in here who knows Japanese. I might as well utilize that, right? Learn some myself. All right, let's take a break from some of the cold weather. EF1 tornado strikes Texas City, displacing hundreds of families. This happened around 1813 Central Standard Time on January 6, 2021. Residents described the storm as quick and horrifying. The National Weather Service in Houston placed a tornado on the higher end of an EF1 rating, maximum sustained winds likely around 110 miles per hour. This is still preliminary data and subject to change pending final review. The tornado was on the ground for about a minute, had a path of about 0.7 miles and a maximum path width of 50 yards. The most significant damage was to a convenience store near the intersection and the adjacent Tradewinds apartment complex, says National Weather Service meteorologist Dan Riley. A clear, relatively narrow path was seen in severe damage, although most debris was pushed towards the east. Dirt and insulation was found splattered on all sides of many structures, including the east downwind side. Damage on businesses on 6th Street was also surveyed. Says here the businesses had a large part of their roofs removed, along with resulting debris spread across the road to its east and across the road. There was no obvious path around the area at this time, leaning towards straight line winds for this area, but still gathering data, could have had a brief touchdown, Riley explains. So Houston's had some storms, some interesting weather down south. We haven't covered a lot of it because some of the colder weather has kind of taken over the headlines, but a tornado. So in the last two broadcasts, we talked about tornadoes in Northern California, 2 of them, and now the possibility of an EF1 tornado touching down in Texas. And Beijing, coldest morning since 1966. Yeah, we got a lot of cold to talk about. The mercury plummeted at minus 19.6 centigrade in China's capital, Beijing, on Thursday morning, January 7th, 2021, marking the city's coldest morning since 1966, when the mercury dipped down to 27 below centigrade. Now listen, I saw a report on CNN talking about this year was tied for the warmest year on record, satellite record. And I can be nitpicky and argue that and say, no, really, we're second. This is the second warmest year. But I'm not even going to go there. What I am going to do is talk about some of the cold records that we've seen falling here lately. And we've got quite a bit of cold air coming here to the U.S. It's already in place in Canada. It's only a matter of time before we get our share of it, and it's coming soon, and maybe in 2 waves. But the point I'm trying to make is that we hear about record warmth and all year long about how warm it's been. And yes, there's been temperature readings that are slightly above the average temps. That doesn't mean it's been hot and the air conditioner stayed on through October. Nothing like that. Well, maybe if you live in the South, it will. But we have seen a lot of cold weather records here lately. We've seen them in India. We've seen them in Japan. We're seeing them in China. We're seeing them in Siberia. And now, and this is my favorite part of the night, here in the Iberian Peninsula, Spain, Madrid, not only did we have historic temperatures on January 6th, coldest temperatures, by the way, with the mercury at Catalan Pyrenees station dropping down to negative 34 centigrade, breaking the previous record set on February 2nd, 1956. Historic snow is also expected in the capital of Madrid. Guess what? That happened. And I am happy to say that one of our followers on our Facebook, and I think the YouTube as well, Alexandru, forgive me if I'm mispronouncing it, but Alexandru Morales from Madrid area of Spain sent me in this video and a brief update. And first of all, he says a few updates. It's snowing like it's the end of the world. It began around 1 p.m., but it was a bit warm, like 1 or 2 degrees centigrade. And well, it didn't stick till about 6 or 7. But now, and this was today, the update from him. But now it's really piling on. It will snow like this till tomorrow night. So we will see tomorrow how deep it will get. And then he goes on to tell me, he sent me some photos and some pictures here. But what we've seen so far in Madrid and around the area is around 8 inches of snow. Guys, they don't get this kind of snow that much. Watch this video.
Pues nada, SUBSCIBESTAR.
This is great. And these people know what's going on. You got to get out and enjoy it, right? Look at this to the left. Wow. Yeah. So. I mean, for an area that doesn't see snowstorms on the regular, they sure know how to have fun in it. Let's watch it one more time. It's good stuff. Again, thank you, Alexandro, for the video and the update, because he was watching on Monday or Tuesday, I'm sorry, and saw when we were talking about this event. But we got the record-breaking temperatures on Wednesday, and then now we're talking about the snow. And it says in this article here, Spanish natural gas prices surged to a record as the nation grappled with unusually cold weather that even brought a rare snowfall to Madrid, which the pictures I just showed you. So, again, this area is not used to this kind of cold. And you can clearly see on the graph, my goodness, look at this. We're talking about a spike. So lots of natural gas usage, and, that's to be expected. Central to eastern Spain, an abundant amount of snowfall is forecast to fall, in combination with colder than normal temperatures. Weather forecasters said, and on a side note, in Madrid, as much as 8 inches of snow may accumulate within 24 hours from late Friday, according to a warning by AccuWeather. And I can tell you right now, just from looking at this, there's at least 4 inches on the ground, if not more. So, and again, they don't have plow trucks, I don't think. And they might have to get out big bulldozers to remove this. I can't get over that. Sorry. Beautiful sight, and love to see the spirit that we're seeing there. People are shrugging this off like, hey, no big deal. But it's great to see the spirited pictures here and video from our friend here in Madrid. And thanks for watching as well. I'm glad that you guys are with us tonight. So anyway, let's continue to move on. And I want to talk about what we were mentioning in the beginning of the broadcast about the colder air that's coming. And let's see. Yeah, here we are. So I talked on Tuesday about a polar vortex that was coming this way. And, well, they're reinforcing this. They're zeroing it down now on the 18th through the 21st of when we're going to get this first blast of cold air. Temperatures in the Arctic blast can peak on a particular day between 15 and 30 degrees below normal for the plains in the Midwest. So you folks out there in the northern plain states, Dakotas, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Michigan, watch out, 15 to 30 degrees below normal. And then if you live in the Northeast, well, not much different, 25 degrees. It's not even giving a range. It's just saying a straight up 25 degrees. So reinforcing that forecast that I put out the other night about colder weather coming by the 15th and moving through the rest of January, and possibly again another blast of a polar vortex by the end, excuse me, by the end of January heading into early February. But there is some controversy on what February might bring. Some models, very few models, the JMA and the CFS, are predicting a mild February for most of Europe and the UK. So I made the claim that we could see some serious cold and snow after the third week of January. There is 2 forecasts that are trying to now change that. So we'll have to stand by. Again, that's about a month away, so we've got plenty of time to fine-tune that. But we do know that we're going to see some pretty cold temperatures here. And what does this mean? Increasing heating demands, just like we saw in Madrid. This is some pretty gripping cold here now. If you're talking about 30 degrees below normal in Minnesota, well, we're talking single digits and lower. So we'll see the increase in heating demands. Hopefully we don't have any blackouts from this. Rounds of lake effect snow. So You folks in Erie, Buffalo, South Towns of Buffalo, be ready for some snow that is going to come. And I'll show you that here in our GFS outlook. And then it says here, East Coast storm potential. That is also something that we mentioned on Tuesday, that these setups here, that what we're seeing right now in these southerly tracks of these storms, these are usually indicators of a big time major storm to affect the East Coast and possibly throughout the Northeast. And you'll get your rounds of snow in the Midwest and the Great Lakes and the Midwest as well. Not as much as the Northeast and the East Coast, but looking promising for the Northern Plains, Great Lakes, and the Northeast. The Ohio Valley and Indiana, Illinois should see about average to slightly above average. But let's just take a look at the GFS. We don't even have to guess, do we? We'll go right to that. Actually, let's take a look first. We used to do this all the time, and I feel bad I don't do it anymore. So we're going to do this. This is our outlook for tomorrow, Saturday. We've got frozen precip in North Carolina and Virginia, parts of West Virginia and eastern Kentucky. Heavier snowfall in northwestern North Carolina, believe it or not. Snow across the Plain states, Montana, Wyoming, and the Dakotas could see some snowfall as well in the Northwest, and some snow for Maine as well. Now let's check out what our weather looks like on Sunday. Sunday. Pretty dry across most of the United States, but snow in the Rockies, some frozen precip in the Southwest, and just plain rain in central and southern Texas on Sunday. And then by the time we get to Monday next week, we got a lot of frozen precip really far south, and this is just the beginning of this setup of these storms that are tracking in the south, and it's going to intertwine possibly with these northern storms. And folks, this right here, all this high pressure is bringing in cold air as well. But with that too, it is also drier air. So it kind of gives us a break, maybe that last minute preparation. Get your salt, get your groceries Monday, Tuesday, get some supplies, because we could see some rounds of snow in the Great Lakes and the Northeast. Let's go ahead and take a look at this right now in motion. This is on Sunday, that storm in the south along the coast. And then by Tuesday, that system is gone. All right. So we're quiet. We've got cold in the areas that I just mentioned, the areas that are going to receive this colder batch as well. And then we start to see some snow moving into the northern plain states and the Great Lakes region by Thursday, January 14th. This is the beginning of it, in my opinion. We'll stop it right here. We have lake effect snow mixing in with a minor system. So right now, the thinking and most widespread snow is about 3 to 5 inches across western New York, but that could change because of the lakes are ice-free right now. So we still have ice-free lakes, and look at this, lasts all the way through Saturday. So Friday through Saturday, the snow gets heavier on midday on Saturday, January 16th. So watch out, Buffalo, Erie, South Towns. This could be our first big lake effect snow event for you guys as we get this all the way through Saturday before things finally settle down. Look at that cold front now, guys. Oh, I guess I could move this. Sorry about that. So this cold front right here, let's back up where I was just talking about that lake effect. I didn't realize that picture was on. So here's that system, January 14th and the 15th. This starts off as rain, cold air behind it. This is where we start to see that Arctic blast from the polar vortex, 15th, 16th, 17th, bringing that cold North Arctic wind over those lakes. And I do believe Saturday will be the best day for accumulating snow, and it will finally wind down late Saturday into early Sunday. Then by Monday, another low pressure system, we call these Alberta Clippers, just because of the nature of how they fall through. But look at this. As it gets to the United States, drier air, of course, and it kind of breaks up. But if you notice, again, we are looking at snow along the lake areas here, Lake Ontario, Lake Erie, in Ohio, Erie, Pennsylvania, New York. And that's where we could see more additional accumulating snow on January 18th. As this system moves out, it lingers around until the 19th on Tuesday. And then still indicating by Wednesday, lake effect snow is still possible for Buffalo and the South Towns all the way out to the Finger Lakes. So another system developing in the south. We've seen a lot of these Gulf-hugging type storms along the coast here. Lots of rain for you guys, lots of severe weather. This is a little too far. We don't usually pay attention too much to this, but this is where we are expected to see the polar vortex, and you can see it right here. It is affecting much of the country at this point. This is the peak of it right here, indeed. And that low pressure system moves off the coast. Doesn't look like to be a threat for the Northeast, but again, more chances for lake effect snows and maybe a setup for a major winter weather storm here on the coast. A major nor'easter could be happening on Friday, January 22nd, which is on my birthday. So I might get a birthday blizzard. By the way, folks, I was born during the blizzard of 78. So how fitting would that be to get a blizzard for my birthday? Looks like Maine is going to get the worst of it right now as we speak. But after that system moves out, cold air is well in place. Guess what? More lake effect possible again for the Northeast. So a lot of snow for folks here in the Northeast if you live in New York and the rest of New England. If you live in the Great Plains and the Northern Plains states, the Great Lakes, we're going to get snow. And, well, yeah, you guys are getting Alberta Clippers, lake effect snows as well. But mainly, we're going to see the majority of that snow up north. Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, northern parts of Indiana. Unfortunately, my family and friends in Southwest Ohio, this snow is going to stay more north than anything. Maybe that might bring you guys a few flakes, 1 to 2 inches. I told my brother he'd probably see a lot of snow this year in Southwest Ohio. So far, I look like a big fat liar. But a lot of the cold air he will experience. So it will be cold and brisk during this time. That is for sure. But right now, polar vortex number 1 is affecting the region, and it's bringing a lot of cold air. And while we're talking about the Northeast, I mean, look at the Pacific Northwest over here, folks. It's going to get revved up here on the 21st of January. Let's watch this system move in. Look at this. So heavy snow for the Northwest and the mountain regions, streaming across the United States and affected all the way. It goes coast to coast from the Northwest to the Northeast. As that system is leaving, another system arrives at the end of the week on January 24th. That's a Saturday. So things start to get interesting after the 15th of January. And then here's a look at our temperatures here in the lower 48. There's your daytime highs on Saturday, overnight lows. Daytime highs on Sunday. Again, getting colder to the north. Trying to level out a little bit. A mild day on Tuesday. A 39 in New York on a January Tuesday on the 12th is warm. Most of the country's in good shape on the 12th of January. And then we get a little bit closer to the 15th. Right before we get this last kick of mild air, here comes that Arctic front that pushes down in the lower 48 starting on the 17th. Looks like the 16th. Minnesota, Wisconsin, Indiana, Michigan. You guys will be the first to receive that cold blast. And then another one on the 18th really reinforces that cold Arctic air across Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan. And then everybody kind of gets on the act here. Ohio, Indiana, and most of the Northeast, New York, North Country, definitely getting those lower temperatures. And that cold Arctic pushes further into the Northeast. And by the 21st, it looks like it wants to relax a little bit, but man, look at that. We got another blast of Arctic cold air coming through, a ridge and fridge, basically. But the ridging is only going to be in the upper 30s. So nothing too crazy, but still. Let's take a look at the entire northern hemisphere. This is us all the way right here, the Northeast, the Great Lakes. Sorry it's so small, but I wanted you to see the big picture of this cold air that we have circulating and working its way down. So we have plenty of Arctic air to deal with. A couple of forecasts, and this is, right here is the UK. They're being told that later half of January is going to be mild. And I mean, yeah, okay, a little bit. GFS is slightly agreeing with that. Temperatures in the green usually mean it could be in the 30s or 40s here in Fahrenheit land. But nothing too crazy. But I do think there'll be a second polar vortex that will bring another shot of Arctic air. maybe not as strong. Right now, all indications are trying to tell us that we could be looking at a little bit weaker of shot of cold. And honestly, this particular polar vortex is not that strong as far as we've seen a lot stronger than this on the polar vortex. And for those of you, I notice I have some viewers in here from Spain. Just showing you real quick here, the freezing temperatures. Looks like you guys might get back to normal. Average temperatures should return to somewhat normal by the 16th, 17th of January, looking at this scale here. And really, the temperatures kind of start to go back towards the mild side as we get closer to the end of the month. Yeah, so wow, what a cold snap you're experiencing now. Enjoy the snow. And just like I said, Alexandru, who sent me that video, very unique way to enjoy it. Just be safe when you're doing that. But still, pretty hilarious stuff there. I want to say hello to everybody out there in the chat. Matt Bros, good to see you out there. Edward, Richard was in there earlier. Not sure if he's still here or not. Dana Green, Mr. Boston, how you doing? There's Richard. I just saw him. Dana Green and very enthusiastic Gardner, also a pleasure to see you as well. Happy birthday to Dana Green, actually. So I just saw that in the chat. Hello to my lovely wife, Mari, out there, keeping everybody friendly, I guess. But but no, we really appreciate you guys tuning in tonight for our Grand Solar Minimum update. And again, thanks to my son, Aiden, 12 years old, and he knows way more Japanese than I'll ever get to learn. So I figured I'd give him a shot and let him translate for me. He did a good job, folks. All right, that's going to do it for us tonight on our Grand Solar Minimum Report. Please stick around, and we will talk soon, folks. Be safe.
Do you like this show? Give us a thumbs up. Want to support us more? Share to your favorite social media platform. Buy a t-shirt or become a Patreon. All links are in the description below.